Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks. And with the S&P here, we're still pretty much on track. The triple Q and the NASDAQ and the S&P are slightly different on the intraday. We could actually even just get another high here before we actually correct. But we'll look at that in the next video. But basically, the way for here, we've got 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 climbing to the upside. We had the 5650, the lower end of group 2 here being the resistance. If that becomes the support, then we'll know that the trend is continuing to the upside. But I'm still expecting a little bit of a pullback in that space. But like I said, we'll look at that in a bit more detail on the intraday when we look at the indices video, and pretty much the same with the SPY here as well, from wave 4 as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and looking for 1 and 2 in climbing to the upside. But it's more about the triple Q here. This is where we left off last time we spoke. So what we're going to do here, we're going to just drop this stop down here because we've taken part profit here. Now, we were looking for a little B wave off the low here. We end up getting another low here. So I'll just touch this up a little bit. I don't think this B wave is done here just yet. I think that it's not such a huge deal at this point. I think that we could certainly just drop a little bit further here, but the main point is I think we can get another rally before we get one more sort of move to the downside. So I'm not exactly sure how this will sort of play out here, but it doesn't really matter because all I'm looking for is it to finish off, and then we'll just look for the first impulse wave to the upside, and then we'll buy the pullback on the B wave setup here. So we don't have to worry about it in the next session. It's something that we need to build on. And like I said, we have to be very careful around large numbers, the 20,000 here, right? So these trades that we've got in over here, we expected like the first high above the level and some sort of ABC back. And the triple Q is much the same as, well, this is the NASDAQ here. So much the same thing. Just then we were looking at the intraday space in here. So yeah, don't really need to go too much into this. I thought this was going to be the triple Q, but basically I think we've got some sort of A and B wave to play out and a C wave down here. So we're moving the stop down a little bit further if you've taken money off the table here. And yeah, so we just got a little bit of work to do there. At the same time, the triple Q is around the 500 here. So we've had the arrival, the reaction here. Now, it does appear that, it does look like we've got a reasonable 5 waves up here. So I can actually get it as a B wave as well. I could put this in the top here, but I'm thinking that we might get one more move. I'm not really interested in it just yet. I needed to develop at these large numbers, but I think it's something like this, and then we pick it up from down here on this. So this is where you lose money. So basically you trade up to this point, get out, and you wait. And you wait for the right sort of setup, because this market will trade below this number and above this number. This number is the second strongest number in the market, and we've taken profit here on the on the NASI, and we've done all the right things at the right time. So we'll just chill on that. And when we come over to the stocks with Apple here, we're certainly trending to the upside. As I pointed out before, in terms of the trading levels, we've got 200 here, then 1, 2, and 3, and that makes up minor group 1. And 3 is not so worried about the 2 there, because that could be 130 or 330, but it's the 30 itself. Once that number 3 becomes a tested support, the fourth strongest number 3 is, then we'll be sort of sucked up to the 5 at that point. Now, as I normally point out, is that we normally get a larger correction at the 3 rather than the other numbers in here, and we're really just waiting for support to play out in here. So we could actually add to, I don't know exactly what that price is there, but we can look to add above that level. Now, once this here gets once one of these highs get taken out here, in a way it's kind of tested this number, and we're kind of safe to move up from that point. So we can look to build on that if you like. But yeah, Apple's looking quite good at this point. So I might need to adjust the count here to take it further because we've got a long way to go up. But it's it's always pretty much the same sort of situation in that we would come up to group 3 here, have some type of correction here, and then we go straight up. Number 4 at 240 is not, it's going to play out there, but it's not that important. It's normally this one, and this will be the biggest swing at this point here, So it'll be something like this. The 3 and 5, the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. That will be really sort of focusing on. But yeah, we don't need to do anything here. We'll just hold our longs and just stay cool on that. Now, Amazon here. This little correction that we've got in here, I could look at it like this, as an A and a B, and this little move in here is corrective. It's got overlapping wave structures, so I could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and I've changed the count a bit. I could put wave 2 here. But I think we just need to be a little bit, I'd rather give the bad news. So the bad news would be that we'll have a larger ABC pattern here, so an ABC. I also brought the stop to the 17666, so I did change that in the spreadsheet here somewhere. Must be on the other page, doesn't matter. But anyway, that's all been updated. But we're going to look at this as still wave 4 here with 1 and 2, and we're going to look at this as 1 and 2, little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3rd, 4th, and 5th here, because we've dropped down. We're going to be dropping. I had it as a 4th wave, but a blue 4, but it's going to be too tight. So yeah, so I think that we'll end up with some. If the market's going to rally, we could end up with this thing here and then down to here, something like this. It's good support across the 190 area here, so it may not pull all the way down here, but I just want to keep the stop out of the way. And we'll probably pick up another position down here as well somewhere, but we have to wait for it to land and then prove to us that it's got 5 waves to the upside. So we'll look to build in another position. I always like to have 2 positions below the closest largest number, the 200 there. So we'll look to build on that, but we're not ready yet in this, okay? So we don't need to do anything at that point. We come over to Nvidia here, and we've had wave 4 here. So this is really the same as Amazon that we just looked at with 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So last time we spoke, we're looking for a B wave to come up into this sort of area here. It might be possible for it to come up a little bit further. I mean, it does play out quite nicely as a little ABC here, but yeah, it don't really matter too much. I'll just leave it over here. We still need this other leg over here for this, so we can expect maybe some sort of move to here and here. Might sit on this trend line here, that sort of thing. And if this is the case, if it pulls back down here, whatever high, this high or that high, then we'll be looking to go long on that, whatever that top there is. Okay, so we'll build. So also too is that from this move down here, this could be viewed as an A and a B and a C wave up here, and we come down and make wave 4 more complicated. But the problem with that is that it puts it too far out of whack with the other markets. So as 1 and 2 is probably the right way to go. But anyway, we'll look to add at this point on a breach of that B wave, wherever that B wave comes into play, and that should do us a trick at that point, and all good. So we come over to Facebook, and yeah, so we have taken this high out here, but I don't want to put wave, I don't want to bring wave 5 wherever wave 5, I don't even have a wave 5 up there. I don't want to bring blue wave 5 as 3, 4, 5 just on such a small top here. It doesn't make sense. So we're working some type of correction in this space, and then we'll move up. So let's just go into let's go into 1000 and see what we've got here. A bit messy, but so yeah, just we'll just allow it to play out a little bit here first. It may drop down here first, but I'm thinking that we'll get a bit of a rally in markets and then a drop down at that point. So we'll just allow this to be. We're back at the 500. I thought we may find support here, and this is quite typical. I mean, you know, if we took out the top high or the second high here, then we would have had the next long trade at that point. But we just didn't get support on number 3. So that's the importance of number 3. You know, it's when you get a tested support there, then it separates being pulled from this number. But we didn't get it. We didn't get the complete pattern set up. So anyway, just looking at that. So this is a weekly chart for Netflix, and I just thought I'd show you the bigger chart here because obviously we've touched this top over here, close to the 700. So it's just reacting, you know, like a bit like Bitcoin hitting, you know, the old 69,000 high, roughly, whatever, you know. So the good news is that double tops are never the end of the trend. Okay, they can react in different ways depending on the particular structure that they're in at the time. So in this case, we're in a bullish trend, and this trend, you know, it's you know, it sort of spent some time building, and then these legs here have opened up here further. Do you know what I mean? They've just sort of, the trend is basically, the trends and the corrections are expanding. So it's a trend, so because it's expanding, and you know, the move from here going up here is really quite, you know, it's on quite a strong angle. So even though it's hit the top over here and it's reacting from it now, we'll just keep a little bit of an eye on it. But I think we just get some sort of ABC and we're up again at that point. Okay, so from here, I'm just going to cut straight through. I don't know if we're on the 100 or 1000. We'll just check it out. Okay, here we go. So we'll look for some type of correction here as well, some sort of ABC correction will go up, and then we'll also look for the long trade, wherever that may be over here, you know, on the top of the B wave, or we'll probably try to get in over here as well. But we don't have to do anything just yet in this. And it doesn't have to come all the way back down here as well. So we'll see how it hangs. But normally the distance above is normally the distance below. So that's quite good. And obviously there's a lot of, you know, support in these consolidations on the top here and the bottom here. So that that sort of space in here at the, say, 625 would probably be about it realistically, but we'll have a look at this. I'll just see if I got this on the 100 ticks. I'm not sure. Okay, I do, yeah. So we're looking at some, I mean, I could configure this in different ways here, but basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this. So I still need 3, 4, and 5 down here for the A wave, and then the B wave, and then the C wave here. So we've got a bit of work to do here. So no, we don't want to get involved in it just yet. Okay, that's the main point. And alphabet. So we're looking for a bit of a top here. So we've got 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're looking for the market to pull back to the 180 sort of area. Now, wave force can always get a bit out of the dozen different types of corrections. They can all end up in wave 4. So it could be simple, could be complex, it doesn't matter. It's not finished yet, it hasn't landed, it's not over, and pretty much anything can happen at this point. So if we're expecting the markets to have a bit of a rally, then they can come down first and then go back up, and you know, but they're not it's not finished yet. We need to be over here for this, and you know, it'll be the same old story. There's nothing to trade, and then there's everything to trade, you know. They all move together. So Microsoft is much the same as well. Now, I could look at this as an A and a B and a C and put wave 4 and be finished in there, but that's not going to be in line with other markets, and it can pull back to the 38.2% of the wave 4, one lesser degree, the 450 here, 5 being the second strongest number. It can dance around there for a while. We may get a bit of a bump and all the rest of it, but it's just not finished at this point. Okay, so you know, we're just not there on this yet. So anyway, we've got our positions in here. We'll keep the stop out of the way, and we could look to add to it. We'll see. And we come over to Tesla, and with Tesla here, we've got from wave 2 here, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 here. And we're looking for wave 4. This is our little target for our low here, so it's hit that already, but it's given us a bit of a 5-wave move down here. So we're looking for a bounce. It looks like we've got 5 waves up here. Haven't really pulled all this apart, so I don't know that much. But like the other markets, we can kind of expect, you know, something like this here, and then we can look to add add to this in due course over here, or once we've got little 5 waves up here on all of that. So that's Tesla, and yeah. So we'll go up here for this. This will be a wave 3 over here. This will be a wave 4. I don't think I need to increase that size at this point. Maybe I'll double check all of this, but you know, I might need to bring this 4 here. That would be the only change in the game at that point. And that would, if that, you know, if this is true and this finishes off here, this will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. And what that does, that's 5 waves in the opposite direction of the trend. So that means that we would end up having an ABC correction after that. So we'll have wave 4, wave 5, and then some sort of ABC pattern here, and then we'll go up at that point. And we definitely, this is where we want to be. So we'll clear out our long trades in this space. So these ones here will be up here somewhere above the 300 on that. And then we'll catch this next trend to the upside. So that's that. And then we have a quick look at Bitcoin. Now, with Bitcoin, as I've mentioned before, it's quite possible to have the wave 4 low in place here. So that's all good, but still don't have enough evidence to distinguish between this being a wave 4 up here and a bullish market in terms of 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Now, I don't know how many of our folks actually trade Bitcoin, you know, like sort of scalping it and so on, or I just assume most of us are hodlers and we buy when we can and those sort of things. That's the general sort of gist of this particular market. And as I mentioned with this and Ethereum, down to these lows, if you're a hodler, that, you know, it's the place to go, place to buy, and we can have another low in here. So we can look at wave 4 being completed here, and the market can, you know, just continue to the upside there. That's quite possible. Otherwise, we'll need to look at it as wave 4. Now, this here is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. Where it is at the moment is roughly the 38.2%. So normally I just grab the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree and the 38.2%, and anywhere in that space is fine for a corrective rally for that. So yeah, so on the 5,000, we can look at this coming down to here. I think it's a 5,000 or is it 20,000? So this one here takes us up to this wave 4 here. So so this will be, I've just got it as the A wave, the B wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the reason I've got it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is because of the crypto index here. Gives you a better picture of it. In this case, I've got it the low in place, but it doesn't. It could be an A and a B here. You know, what we do need to do is work out this 5-wave business here. So in this case, we can look at 1 and 2, and then a little 1 and 2 in here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for the third, fourth, fifth for the third, fourth, and going up for the fifth. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now I know there's overlap in there, and this here I'm just taking it to the max. So we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth, fifth up here for this, and this. So we'll let this play out here. And this 1650 is really quite important. In stocks, they use that as a medium level, but in most other cases, we just use it as a lower end of group 2. But the 16,500 is really important. So this is the crypto index of the top 10 in that case. But all I'm just showing here is that this can be the A, the B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So we'll have to watch this point. Once we get past this point, then that's the end of it. And we'll be going up at that point. Now, as a corrective pattern, this can be counted differently as well. So what Sanmai is doing intraday Bitcoin on the chat lounge now, so he'll be looking for trades and doing intraday Bitcoin and intraday pretty much anything else that he sees that's interesting. So he's got this as a WXY pattern coming up here, and that's good. That's also works as well, probably even better actually than what I've got. But I'm just more of an ABC man, because I know a lot of new people come to Elliott, and the last thing that they want to see is something that makes it a bit more complicated, So if I can ABC it, then I will. If I can't, then I won't. And what I also wanted to show here is just the low in place as well. I thought that I had it on 1,000 ticks here. I'll just have a look. Oh yeah, so this is the B wave up here. So to have the low in place here, I've got it as 1 and 2 here, and then this 1 here, a little ABC for 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, ABC for 4, bit of an overlap, and 5 for the third, the fourth, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, the fourth, and the fifth here. So that's how you could count it to the low. Now, just to make it even more complicated, Kittypon has got it down here as a WXY. He's got the whole structure as a double WXY and as an ABC coming down here, and that works as well. So, but at the end of the day, what I need to do is I need to get past this structure here being 5 waves. After we've got 5 waves here, anything beyond that, then we can look to build in, trades in that space. But this is where it can come down here and have one more low. So just be mindful of that. So if you're a hodler, this is still a good place to buy. Don't wait for this, because you'll miss it. So I mean, when you dollar cost averaging, I just like to look at the price over here, and I say to myself, well, I've got X amount of dollars, and the price range here is 10,000. So maybe if I just pick up some at different price ranges, So you could have bought some at 55 and 54 and 53 or 2 or 1 or whatever, and that way you just sort of you don't miss much at that point. Do you know what I mean? You don't get the best price or the worst price, but and in the end it doesn't really matter over time. Okay, enough waffling. That's all of that. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy Monday. Cheers.